What's up, guys? We are here today for another interview. We're here with Rocky from Hawk Security. Rocky, how you doing today?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Ready to ask you some questions and find out about an industry that I know nothing about. So here we go. Tell us about what you do, what kind of services you provide, and just everything about the business.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. My name is Rocky Martinez. I'm with Hawk Security Services. So we're a Texas-based security alarm monitoring company, providing security for Texans for the last 40 years. I'm down here in the Houston market. Hawk has 5 branches across the state of Texas, and we currently have about 65 outside sales reps providing security and life safety options for Texas residents and business owners. So primarily, in a nutshell, we provide security monitoring for residential and commercial customers. So, your standard basic monitoring for doors and windows. But we like to make sure that we take it up a notch by not securing any properties unless we've, visited that site in person to evaluate the number of openings, discuss the customer's needs and wants, because every house is different, every business is different, but more importantly, every individual's needs and wants are differently. And the reason why they're getting security could be different. Some want to prevent the opportunity for a break-in. Others want to monitor the happenings of those that are on the property. So for business owners, it's monitoring employees and customer interaction. And for residences, it's sometimes knowing when your children are coming home or whether or not they're trying to sneak out.
Right. Cool. That sounds good. Well, we obviously have a lot of business owners in this group, and quite a few of them have brick and mortar, stores that they work out of. So, could you talk a little bit through maybe the process if they wanted to either switch security companies, or maybe they don't have anything going on right now, and if they came to you, what would that process look like from start to finish?
Yeah, so the process typically would be making communication and then meeting up at the site to do a thorough walkthrough and evaluation of the customer's needs. First and foremost, we want to identify if there's any existing security equipment or monitoring equipment on site, because we want to do everything we can, if possible, to avoid selling anybody equipment that they don't need. And a lot of my competitors will go in and try to just sell a new system and maximize that upfront cost, where if we can utilize any existing hardwired door and window sensors, we will. And the positive with us utilizing the existing sensors is, one, we don't have to charge for new stuff.
Right.
2, we're going to warranty anything that's existing anyway. So if something malfunctions or doesn't work down the road, we're going to provide a full warranty for that existing equipment, the same as we do for anything that we put in new. As far as the benefits for business owners, obviously the prevention of intrusion. As you were asking me that question, I was thinking of an incident that just happened in Houston about 3 or 4 days ago at a dental office. Individual broke into the dentist office and stole all the copper wire and some of the dentist equipment. And there was $250,000.
Wow.
Correction, $25,000 in stolen copper and equipment. And when we do the math on what a customer would be paying for security monthly, it calculated to about 50 years of alarm monitoring that they would have been able to pay for. So a lot of times business owners avoid making this addition of security and adding the expense to all the other expenses they have, because they want to watch costs. But it only takes one event to set a business back significantly. It's going to take months to put all that copper wire back and replace that dental equipment.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. Talk a little bit about, obviously business may have changed a little bit over the past couple months as everybody kind of deals with what we're going through here. How does that look for the business that you're in? What's changed? What ways have you maybe had to be creative to get new customers or keep in contact with your current customers, things of that nature?
Yeah. So, typically, with outside sales reps, there's, a majority of them are door knockers. They're focusing on, new home closings. They're working with realtors. And then, obviously we use a lot of real estate resources to know when homes are closing, and then targeting new construction neighborhoods. But one of the things that we've really prided ourselves on here at Hawk Security is the education and the mentoring to allow our reps the opportunity to build relationships with other business owners. especially those businesses and professions that would be primarily working with the same type of customer that we want to work with. So
Right.
we like to build relationships with real estate professionals, property and casualty insurance reps, and any of those home service providers like landscaping, pool cleaners, pest control, that are having interaction with the same type of, residential and commercial customers as us. So fortunately, industry wise, a lot of, obviously we've had a setback like everybody else. We've lost
Right.
a percent of business. But the positive is we haven't lost as much as some of our competitors, because of the strong relationships that we have in the community. And as long as the real estate market is still moving, residential and commercial, they're still closing, deals, and insurance companies are still writing policies, and we still have the opportunity to provide our services. Now, the most important part of that whole aspect is that we've got to make sure that we're reciprocating those referral opportunities. And so, that's another, area that we focus on as far as mentoring our life safety specialists, or our sales reps, whatever you want to call them, into, identifying the professions and professionals that are referring them business, and identify, as many ways as possible that we can make introductions or refer business back to them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Cool. So on a personal note, how did you get into this industry? You may talk about that story for a little bit, if it's something that you don't mind talking about, and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I actually like to tell this story because I've been with Hawk for 5 years. It's the only security alarm company I've been with. And, when I initially, got into Hawk, it was by complete accident. I actually had owned a telecommunications business for 20 years and decided, as I was getting closer to 40, that I wanted to do something new. And if I wanted to do so, I probably needed to do that before I turned 40. And so when I sold my business, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I did plan to take a year off. During the first 90 days of my time in between jobs, I actually had a triggering event. I had a break-in,
Oh, wow.
and so that put me in a position to inquire about security options for my home and for my family. And then as I stumbled across Hawk Security as an option, I ended up having a common connection with a gentleman there that went to the same church as I, and he was the sales recruiter for Hawk Security. So he aggressively tried to recruit me for a few months, and I wasn't interested. Didn't feel like I knew anything about security. But the more I thought about it, I thought, I've got a story, I've got a why, and
Yeah.
that's people need to know that it's better to have security and not need it than to need it and not have it. And I just felt like I would be able to build a foundation off of that. So I took a position with Hawk Security up in Fort Worth, Texas, and I transitioned down here to Houston sometime right around Harvey. And the most important thing for me, and a part of the story that I didn't share, I'm a husband of 18 years, but more importantly, I'm a father of 5. So I've got a huge why in regards to protecting what means the most to me, which is my wife and my kids and my home. And so that's how I got into security. Is I needed security. And I was one of those individuals, with my business. I had 13 locations. We had security alarms. Someone in management set it every night. Someone disarmed it every morning. And I had the bill auto drafted from my account. It just was something that we took for granted.
Right.
But as far as my residential property, I was just like most people, where I thought, knock on wood, it won't happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's a good story, man. All right. Last question. So, we talked about pretty much everything that you've done and how you got into it. And I'm drawing a blank on my last question here. Talk about just for a second, what sets you. So there's obviously a lot of competition in this industry. Tons of security companies. I feel like I see a new name all the time. So talk about what sets you guys apart, and why a customer might choose you either for their home or their business over some of the other people in your market.
Yeah, well, I like that question. And, to answer that, in most sales transactions, even outside of security, where you're purchasing something at, a local store, or, another product, initially, you interact with a sales rep. And then, if you've purchased a service, you interact with a technician. And then shortly after, you lose contact with both of them. And one of the things that we really pride ourselves on at Hawk is we realize that the customer can be a customer for life if we build that relationship with the customers the same way we do with the business owners and professionals within the community. It's one thing that I really, pride ourselves on here at Hawk is in the alarm industry, the average customer is 36 months and the average alarm monitoring agreement is 36 months. So that means most people are fulfilling their initial term with their alarm company, and then they're shopping around for a better price or better service. And the average Hawk security customer is actually 8.5 years,
Wow.
which is significantly longer. And, the reason for that is we want to make sure that we're checking on our customers, frequently. We're not only interacting with them, by phone or stopping by in person to see how they're doing and how everything's working, but we're monitoring the activity on the account. Are they utilizing the services that we've provided to them? Are they using the door locks that they purchase? Are they interacting with the app? Are they set up for notifications? Because the last thing we want is a customer, paying monthly for a service and not utilizing all that's available to them.
Right.
Feeling at the end of 36 months that they weren't getting their money's worth and they want to go see if there's a better option for them.
Gotcha.
The next thing that I feel separates us, as far as equipment and product and service wise is, we provide a service that's called video verification. And where most alarm companies simply sell people cameras so that they can see, on their phone whenever they want to, and they're recording. For the most part, we take it up a notch. Video verification allows us to view live video during the event of an alarm and relay that information to the authorities as they respond to the location. So when the police are on their way to your location, they know what triggered the alarm, which most security companies can provide. But we go a step further. We can actually tell them how many suspects are on site, what do they look like, what are they wearing, have they left the property while you respond. And this puts those cameras to work for the customers real time. More importantly, it makes it a safer response for the authorities. If there's one officer in the area and there's 4 suspects on site, he's outnumbered. So we really put an extra effort into making sure that the customers are getting the full experience of whatever they're paying for. And we direct them firsthand if they need anything in regards to accounting, billing, upgrades, service, programming, anything in regards to their system. We want them to have a personal relationship with their specialist. Before they go to plan B, which is calling the 800 number and working with one of our customer service reps.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, that's some super good information. I'm so glad that you were here with us today to share it. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day, man.
No, I appreciate it. You have a great day, everybody out there. Be safe.
All right, thanks. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview. Listen, don't waste time. If your business or your home is not protected, make sure to check out Hawk Security. Ask for Rocky. He'll hook you up. See y'all next time.